Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to Play It Paint Live. Hope you guys are having a good Tuesday evening. Tonight we're going to be working start to finish on on veteran calculus. So that's what we're working on tonight. We just stamped some bases. I've got to do some sharing of the things. So let me go ahead and do that on the other computer. While you guys are kind of filing in here, let's go ahead and do this thing, everybody. So once again, hope you guys are having a good Tuesday evening. Let's go ahead and where is my deal? Does it not show me where's my thing? Where is my I should already have a live stream up and going that I can share. It wouldn't even let me tweet, Wayne. Let's go ahead and open this on the view page. All right, and now let's go to Facebook. All right, and let's go ahead and share this here. Let's just, how do I want to share this? Let's share it a couple different places because no one's here yet. We're gonna chill. If you're watching this on playback, you probably want to skip ahead like 5 minutes or so. Let's see what we got. All right. Okay. And then let's go. What was this? Does that even take you to the right place? That doesn't take me to the right place. Wait. Here we go. Okay. Let's edit that. Edit post. Let's put this in. There we go. And then I can copy that. Come on. And then let's put it, here we go. And I'm gonna go to the Comic Quest Guild Ball, because why not? I guess I should do it there, right? Yeah. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I don't want to put it on here. Let's put it on Zeiss. Yeah, let's put it on here. This is better. All right. I swear I'm almost done. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. There we go. Okay. All right, people, let's get to it. Let me make sure. So I'm actually gonna build 3 models, but I'm only gonna paint 1. So what I need to do right now is I need to clip a couple of more pieces. And so I'm going to build 3 models. Then we're going to paint 1. And I know you just said that, but I don't know. I feel like I have to clarify this. So I think I need. Where'd it go? Did it fire all the way through? Looks like it did. Okay. So I'm just getting the pins together. We're gonna make 1 more pin. Okay. So you guys probably may not be able to make out these little things that I'm making, but that's okay. Let's get together our pin vise. There we go. And so if you are here to see just painting, got some disappointing news for you. We're going to spend a little bit of time building first, okay? So this is the veteran calculus model. It comes in 2 pieces. Pretty much the main body there, and then the little hand. And then there's another base here that I don't really need. And where are those other ones we're going to build? So we're going to build that. We're also going to build, while we're at it, we're going to build Vet Chisel. She's just 1 piece. And then finally, we're going to build Vet Cinder. Right? And Vet Cinder only is in 2 pieces, and the other piece is just a sword. So this is the stuff that gets really annoying to try to pin, is tiny little swords like that. All right. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our clippers and clip off the parts that we don't need. So I'm going to clip the tabs off of the miniatures. And we'll have to file that down. So if you're just joining us, welcome to Play It Painted Live. Let us know what you're painting or what you should be painting. Tonight, we're going to work on these. We're going to work on this stuff here. All right. And just a little extra connection there between the tab and there's these little bits on her tab right there. Yeah, hey, what's up, Congo? I'm going to bounce back and forth a little bit more, I think. I think we're going to do that. I think, YouTube could use a little bit of love. And the stuff on Twitch is cool, but for continuity's sake, we may just kind of pick projects that some which will go on YouTube and others which will go on Twitch. And I'm not sure what's going to go on what, but since tonight we're really only going to be kind of focusing in on 1 model, which is this model. Probably not, I might just do this model on YouTube and then do maybe the other models on Twitch, or split them up. Maybe on Twitch I'll keep, I might just keep doing Starship Samurai while I do this. But Starship Samurai was just like a side project. Like it's really not in terms of priorities for me, what I want to get on the board, absolutely this model that I'm working on tonight. So it's like I would rather spend tonight working on these models and getting them ready than than continuing on with Starship Samurai. And I'm also still trying to decide like where should different content go. YouTube usually, I've been putting up the match reports and that kind of stuff on here. In fact, you know what? I am going to share. I am going to share this with one more group. We'll put it on the. Should we put it on Comic Quest Guild Ball? No rants on YouTube. I know. I gotta behave on YouTube. So push that there. Okay. I know. I guess controversial on Twitch, but on YouTube, man, like it's got to be real. It's got to be, really sanitary here on YouTube. This little bit on the hilt might cost me the hilt. That is annoying. A tiny little thing there. Wow, this is right. So this is Furnace's sword. This is his completed sword. And it just kind of goes in here. And that's a good enough fit, really, where I'm probably not gonna. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see a reason to pin that. Instead, I'm gonna pin this teeny tiny little hand here, and there's a teeny little socket that goes on here. So we're gonna pin that, and some of the local guys kind of ask, how do you pin stuff? How do you deal with the really finicky stuff like this? So let's do it. Let's show people how I pin crap. First thing, let's make sure we got a nice flat feet here for calculus. And then, I like to try to stand the model and figure out which foot the pin should go in. And you do that by kind of determining what's the flatter foot, and it's actually this one. So I'm going to drill a little hole here. And it's like, oh gosh, like chewing that up. It's not really grabbing. I think this bit might be going dull on me, which is okay. It's not the end of the world. What you don't want to do is drill all the way through the foot, right? Just enough for it to stick out to there, right? You just want to have a little bit of a grip there. Then on the notch here, I'm going to file that flat so that I can actually get the bit into it there. And this is going to take a little bit of precision. So I'm going to have to, slower is better while you're trying to get, you're trying to get a little channel in here. And mine is not working so well. So give that another file. And I'm just kind of using the side of my finger to help guide it. And I'm watching the bit. If the bit is rolling off too much to one side, I try to adjust and kind of swivel the bit back the other way. And this is going to be a very, very short, this is going to be a very shallow pin. It only needs to be in enough for the pin to have a good seat in there. Okay, so it doesn't need to be terribly deep. Like that's actually pretty good because I'm going to put a really stubby pin in here, right? I'm going to put a tiny little pin in here, like this guy. This guy's so small I can't even pick it up with my finger. But there you go. You can see it. I'm going to have to bring this camera down. Scrunch this up a little bit more. There we go. Right. So here's, oops. So now we're going to glue this. I guess I could rant right now since nobody's only a couple people watching. And I'm sure the couple people watching are probably locals or regulars who have heard me rant before. Okay, so you can see that? The pin's just barely sticking out there. And I'm going to stick the other pin in the foot here. Oh. Did I not? I thought I had put a channel in here. Can't even see. Wow, I got nothing. Should be right there. Maybe that's it right there. There it is. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm like super out of frame right now. Just working on some tight stuff. There we go. Right? So we'll let that dry like that. Then I'm going to take this channel, the little hand here. I'm going to drill a little hole there. Make sure that the pin will fit on this side. And obviously I don't want to go all the way through the hand, but I need to cover the whole depth of that pin. So there's that. Now let's do the other feet pins on these other two ladies. I wish you guys could hear the music that I'm listening to, but you can do it on Twitch. So you guys want to tune in to me on Twitch? I'll probably, tomorrow night I got to decide if I want to paint one of these other two ladies on Twitch or if I want to continue with Starship Samurai. Not really sure. These ladies are a lower priority to me than vet calculus is. Vet calculus just kind of won my most fun veteran of 2018 award. Might have made that a little. No, that's perfect. Okay, good. All right. Finally, we're going to drill a hole here for vet cinder. I think vet cinder is also going to be fun to play, just because she has that kind of exciting big play moments built into her mechanics, which is great because the blacksmiths typically just don't have really big activations unless you really telegraph it, right? Like you could get a really good activation out of an iron or bolt or alloy or cast. You can, but you're waiting like 3, maybe even 4 activations before you get something like that. Kind of excited what faction to get in the Wormhordes box. Yeah, mystery boxes like that with good value in them are always pretty exciting. I would think that it's going to be a faction that's not popular, that they may have a surplus of. At least that's kind of how it worked with Guild Ball when they did the Guild Ball mystery box. Almost everybody got hunters, masons, and brewers, which masons and brewers were understandable because those are kickoff sets. Those sets were basically replaced by kickoff. Whereas hunters, at the time they did it, hunters were not very popular at all. So if you're just joining us, welcome to Play It Painted Live. Let us know what you're painting or what you should be painting. Tonight we're working on, we're going to work on vet calculus, but I'm out of convenience here. I'm building 2 of the other vets from the Faithful box. So I'm building vet cinder right now. And then I also have vet chisel. And this is probably I'm going to break convention here. Normally when I'm working on a set like this, I paint my least favorite sculpts and then work my way over to my most favorite. But this is a matter of getting these pieces on the board. I want to be able to play these. So I'm going to break I'm going to break a little bit of my own convention here. Oh, one other thing I'll point out is, yeah, I did lick this piece to get it to kind of help it to stick. So I gotta make sure that is holding steady. Woo! Good. Okay. So by that logic, I'll get scorned, but apparently it's truly a random faction from what I've heard. Oh, interesting. See, I would want to. I thought about that, and I was like, man, if I don't get Rhett though, because that's the only Warmahorde stuff I'd want to paint is Rhett. Like if I got Menoth or something, Menoth looks like the least interesting thing for me to paint. Like, yeah, I would not be down with Menoth. Wow, that did not really stick the way I hoped it would. Okay. So now I'm going to drill through this. So I stamped these bases a couple of hours ago. And so they're firming up, but they're still ever so pliable, right? And this is kind of the sweet spot. You want to do this about an hour after you've stamped the base, because the base is still impressionable. It's not so soft that the boots will sink through. It's more about getting this to, oh shoot. All right. It's more about getting the feet to sit completely flush on the base and not look like, how sometimes if you don't do this, if the feet are not completely flat or the base isn't completely flat, it looks like the feet are kind of floating on the base. And so I'm trying to avoid that by stamping the base fresh and then kind of, oh gosh. And then just kind of, did that not? Okay, so let that dry. I don't know if that's gonna stay. That did not quite grip the way. Yeah, it's still a little soft there. So let's let that dry. Okay. I notice the floating feet. You're better off just buying red. Yeah. I don't actually, but want is a strong word. With War Machine and me, I do not actually want any War Machine. It just, but yeah, like if you told me I was guaranteed gonna get ret, 200 something cool, that's the fallacy that we fall for. Ooh, it's a lot of models. We don't think it through like, yeah, it's a lot of models to paint. It's a lot of models to store. It's a lot of models to, invest time in. And if you don't like it, then it's just a lot of models. There's nothing else. Yeah. Yeah, you just glue to plain bases and use texture paints. That makes sense. Here's a steel plate base that I'm working on for that cinder. The issue here is actually she doesn't match the other bases I've got everybody else on, and it's kind of a shame. It's a cool base though. I should actually, pop all of those guys off of those plastic bases and put them on a bunch of these steel plate bases. That would look pretty awesome, actually. I think this sculpt is kind of terrible, if I'm being honest with you. She looks like a goblin in the face, and I don't know what the hell was going on there. I get it. They were making her look more sinister or whatever, but it's just not a great look. Okay. Okay, so we built 3. Let's, oh gosh, it's already 10 o'clock. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish. It'll take me a couple hours to paint this, probably. Well, let's get rocking. I know I started like right around 9:30, so get myself a little caffeine to encourage me. So we're gonna let that dry for just a little bit. And with all these like metal filings and stuff, I'm gonna change my paper. So hang on one sec, guys. Woo. So I'm gonna scoot you over here. You're gonna look at like this cruddy pile of mess here for a minute. I'm gonna throw all this out, and I'm gonna put up a new fresh sheet of green paper. So let's do that. All right. Okay, and here we go. There we go. So we're back in business. There's the green there. Okay. And what else do I need before I get going? I think that's about it. We're going to go ahead and mount her to this thing. So we're going to prime her. We're going to do a zenithal prime, which is something I typically do. I'm going to actually back this up a little bit so you can see. So we're going to give her a zenithal prime, and then we're going to work on basically the green and the white, and then we're going to paint all the detail in. Okay? So let me prep my airbrush here for a second. Just clearing some spot on the table. And yeah, but yeah, she's definitely the one that's got to be on the table first for me, because I'm already playing her. Like I've played like 4 or 5 games with vet calculus, and she's one of the most fun players for me. That alchemist team is so much fun for me right now. I think it's a rare team like that where I feel like just about every activation is fun. Every activation, maybe the mascot's activation is a little boring, but even then, it's a mascot. It's a stupid little snake with a 2-inch melee, and that's pretty fun. Because even if you don't give it uh, influence, it's still just being annoying and crowding somebody out. So there's still something to be said there. All right. So a little bit of black primer here. And yeah, there's a little gap there that's gonna drive me crazy, but maybe I can disguise it. And then one thing I do when I'm spraying, when I'm priming, is I hold the model upside down, because this is the most important part to get the black is underneath everything. Oh, there's a tiny little tag there that just showed up. That's gonna drive me crazy. Tiny little tag. I don't know if can anyone see that? I think so. I think someone can see that. Let's see if I can just very gently. I don't think I can. No, you can't. How annoying. Maybe I can get it with a knife, a hobby knife. Okay, a hobby knife. Oh gosh. Ugh. Oh my gosh. The thing is strong too. It's just this tiny little nub there just standing out and mocking me. And it's strong. There you go. I mean, I've neutralized it. It's still there. Yeah, it's still there. But the worst part about this is it looks like yeah. What a mess. Okay. I'm going to have to re-glue this thing because it's super wobbly now. Wow. That's not good. So I'm going to reinforce the attachment there to the base. Okay. So she's kind of leaning, her heels kind of lean her forward a little bit, which is fine with me as long as it's consistent. Yeah, she's still rocking back and forth. It's terrible. The wise thing to do would be to sit back and let this dry. But am I going to do that? No, I'm not going to do that. I need to get painting, man. So we're not going to do that. I'm going to bank on that glue working. I'm going to bank on my primer doing its job as well. These boots are kind of ugly. It's like not the best. Yeah, she is definitely, she's wobbling like mad on this. It just isn't the best stance. Like, it's weird. It's like worse than a tiptoe. Yeah, she's still wobble city on this thing. That's crazy. Okay. So now let's go ahead and so the main colors to block on the airbrush are going to be the green colors. So she's going to have a lot of like green blue up to white on her. First thing I got to do is switch our colors here on the airbrush. All right. So the next color to put down is going to be foul green. make sure that our clog is clear. Looks like it is. So weird how crusty her feet look. So we're going to have to probably paint around that. Like make her feet look okay. That left foot looks terrible. I'm not sure what happened there. Could be a miscast or just something a little crusty on there. There we go. Okay. So now we need foul green. So we're going to use foul green here on this guy. All right. And this is going to be just kind of an undercoat for the main green. So this is going to be over the entirety of the model. Right, so we're going to put that on, spray it downwards. Yeah, still Wobble City on this model. It's just weird. That foot is just weird. Okay. Might as well get the outside of the rim here. That'll help me when I'm finishing up the model. Let's dry that off. What is going on there? It's just ugly. Okay, so now let's move up the color range here. So by the time I'm done airbrushing this, it's going to look mostly white, which is fine. And then I need to spray a little bit of gray on the cobblestone base to kind of get that feel back. All right. So now I need that light blue color. Or I could skip it and go straight to verdigris. That might actually be better if I skip and go straight to verdigris. Because the mid-tone color in this case is not going to really be much of a factor. I got to hit the sack. Good night, dude. Thanks for tuning in. Good luck getting a good faction on your mystery box there. All right. So we're going to go in with a little verdigris. Let's do that. So this color is going to look super light, which is fine. Fun model. So you can see it's like really, really light color now. Okay. Pretty good. Looks about right. Okay. And honestly, yeah, once I get the gray down, we're done with the airbrush. We're going to go straight to painting from here. What a fun model. And just get the rest of this color out. So if you're just joining us, welcome to Play It Painted Live. Let us know what you're painting or what you should be painting. Tonight we're working on Veteran Calculus. It's not like I'm trying to get her done so I can play her on break her out on Thursday. Although I do have my farmers team that I just painted, and we'll see like if I want to paint that. Hey, what's up, Blade Wolf? Welcome to the feed. All right. Let's just. So now I just need a little bit of gray. It's going to go on the base. Why does that look so bad right there? Well, while we worry about that, okay. All right. You're gonna have to buy 4 more Guild Ball boxes eventually. What for? Why would you have to buy 4 more Guild Ball boxes? Oh, for Union. Are you starting up Union? Like, are you buying a brand new Union guild, or are you expanding your Union? Oh, you have 2 Union. So you want to get? Are you trying to get all the Union models? Okay. I think that's all she wrote here for airbrushing. I think I'm ready to continue with some painting. Let's paint this. Let's paint her up. Okay, so you are gonna branch into Union proper. That's pretty awesome. Okay, I don't know if her She's strong enough for me to do the dry brushing step that I would love to do right now. Let's just proceed with a lot of caution, because she doesn't seem to be very stable on that base. So all I need to do is I'm going to take a little white and dry brush. So yeah, Union is super fun, man. Blackheart, one of my favorite captains in the whole game. I was playing Blackheart and Seasoned Brisket, obviously. I do have that rage, but I've never actually run him. I guess that's on my to-do list since I already have the models and everything. Okay, so we're going to do a very, very mild white dry brush. Proceed with caution here. Very, very light. Very, very mild dry brush. So here's, again, I'm sorry, but I do feel like I have to take credit for being one of the first guys to use makeup brushes for dry brushes. I know all the famous internet people are like, oh, they did a great video on it. I'm like, yeah, but I'm pretty sure you saw that on my channel first. Pretty sure you saw that here first. I know what it's about, man. So we got to proceed with caution here. Just kind of. She has that cool the cool backpack. Pretty awesome. I'm going to make that look kind of like a gold color. So I'm just doing a, here, we'll scoot this up so you guys can see more of the paint area. So there's that whole area there, which is going to be, there's going to be a lot of gold and brass. Oh, there's a terrible mold line right there. Look at that. That's pretty gnarly. And she's just ever so wobbly. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and just start the painting the process. So the cool part about the other cool thing about this model, there's only one eye to paint. So we can get creative with our one eye. In terms of sculpts, I think Vet Chisel is the best sculpt of that bunch. I think she's awesome. But you own Minx and Fangtooth, which makes sense, right? Because fish player. I'm not really sure what you're using. Oh, you're using Minx for hunters, so yeah, that makes sense. All right. So like we could actually get in and try to do a really good job on this eye. Since there's only one, make it count. It's a very stoic looking facial expression here. I got my teeny tiny little eye daughter for this. If I can find my teeny tiny little eye daughter. That is teeny tiny. That little guy there. All right. All right, I gotta lean in pretty tight here. I missed. It's a problem with the teeny tiny little eye daughter. Well, I cannot hit it with the little guy. I'm gonna have to do it with a big guy. Hey, what's up, Shelly Hayden? Welcome to the feed. Yeah, forget it. That's why I hate those tiny little things, man. I'd rather have this. I'd rather have my old trusty size 1 and hit it with the size 1. Well, nobody wants to behave right now. Oh yeah, YouTube has YouTube links to your Google, and if you don't, you can go in your settings and change. Like if you have um, a channel name, you should have a separate Google kind of a Google account, YouTube account for that, and you can switch to it. Yeah, you just logged into the right. That happens to me sometimes, especially if you come in through Facebook. I've noticed Facebook will default you to uh, a Google account that may not be the one that you want to use. It's particularly frustrating when it's like, hey, I just put up a YouTube channel, and you're like, oh, that's awesome. I'm going to subscribe to that person. And then you find out that that some other weird off account of yours is actually sub to them, and you have to go manually go in and find their channel, and it becomes a big hassle. Wow, she's basically not on this base. Okay, good news is I got the eye. The bad news is, so what happened? Things I was priming last night. Oh, they're still here. I'm just taking a break from them. Wow, what a mess. See that wobble there? I may have to physically remove the model and then place it back on. I think that's the safest way to do this, is just physically remove it like that, right? And that will also allow me to clean up all this mess here. All that weird gunk that's on the side of her shoe. Let's get all that off. It's so weird. I don't know why that glue decided it didn't want to bond. Whatever, right? We'll fix it. We'll make it work. Okay. So that's okay. That's not too bad. Let's see if she'll fit back on here. Looks like she will. It's just a matter of making sure the glue bonds this time. And if I have to, I can even use some zip kicker to make sure it's going to stick. But while it's not on, I can also do a second thing here, which is ensure that the eye is done correctly. Because that was the whole point. Trying to get in this close is making sure the eye. Okay, I think that's right. Just shabs. Cool, no worries. Welcome back. All right, so I think what I can do, once again, we're gonna, since she's not on her base, I'm taking advantage of that, and I'm just gonna really do a better job on the eye here than you normally can. Because you're normally restricted by the base and stuff. That all gets in the way when you're in that tight. It's not too bad. Okay, so now let's stick her back in proper and just hold her there for a few. You're gonna make Union a thing after you acquire the Falconers. Sounds good, man. All right, give that a second there to set up. And hope that it stays. Just hope that glue decides to bond properly. And assuming it does, we should be in good shape. All right. And now let's go ahead and undertone the Steamforge has taken my money slowly. I hear that. I couldn't wait for these models, so I bought that farmer's team, painted the farmer's team, and sure enough, as soon as they're done, all these come in. Don't play that other church configuration. It's brutal. What are you talking about? The one with, are you talking about the one where I swap out Benny and Grace and put Spigot and Fangtooth in? Because I am totally running that configuration. Because I can't, I'm terrible with the box. I need a team that has at least some takeout threat in it. And obviously I get that with Spigot and Fangtooth. Like that changes that whole team for me. And I would actually try to play them as a 2-2 team. That might be a mistake, but that's just how I like to play. I think that's just like how I like to play Guild Ball, period. Is I like to play the 2-2. It's the most interesting way. It's the most interesting plan because it gives the most people on your team, specific roles. That's what I like about it. And it gives you the most flexibility too. So the main question for me on this model is, what color should her hair be? I know that's weird. That might sound weird, but seriously, what color should her hair be? Am I out of focus? Looks like I'm out of focus. Hold on. Let me see if I can fix that. There we go. That's better. Purple? That might not be a bad color, actually. Her natural hair color is blonde. I mean, not blonde. She's a brunette naturally. Purple wouldn't be out of the question. I mean, she is an alchemist. Let's see if I can. If I could trim the bottom of her eye to look less like she's not had enough sleep. There we go. Okay. Galaxy hair. I'm not sure what that means. Okay. Let's do a little lipstick and makeup on her. Now, I know some people may not like that, but I do that on the ladies. I always do, just a little bit of color in the lips and a little bit of color in the. Oh, that's too orange. Yeah, I don't like that color at all. That's way ugly. Hold on. That's way ugly. So we're going to use Sunset Red. And sometimes I do even. Why does YouTube keep hiding my chat? What the crap? Why is it doing that? Purple, blue, black, pink, and. All right. I'm having trouble keeping a tip on this brush. There we go. Okay, so now let's start working her skin up to the correct color. I don't know if I want to use Youthful Flesh. I think I may use something different. Let's go with the classic, man. Yeah, let's go with the classic. Let's go with tanned highlight's a nice color. They're tanned highlight or a basic skin tone. I also really like. Maybe I got rid of all my basic skin tone. Maybe. I just ran into all these really cool colors. That are going to work for other stuff on this model. Nope. Where's my... Oh, man. I can't... I'm like looking down at this thing and I can't seem to find any colors I can actually use here. All right, so let's go with so we're gonna go with tanned highlight, and I'm just gonna mix a teeny little bit of the undertone color into it. Well, wait, before I do that, should I do a little eyeshadow? Is that too much? A little bit of green eyeshadow or a little bit of blue eyeshadow? It's probably too much. It's probably too much. I mean, she's playing Guild Ball. She's not going out. Not going out on the town here. But I do that. Like if the face is cool, I like to do like little details like that. That's like the fun part. No one will ever notice it. But it's just a nice little thing that I like to have built in there. Especially a model like this with such a characterful face. You can make that model look quite cool. That's pretty good. Okay. You know, let's sneak it in. It'll be our little secret. No one will know. Let's just do it. No one's going to be paying that much attention to this miniature that they'll know like that there's just the teeniest little, like this is going to be just a tiny little dash of a line above the eye. Like no one's going to know that that's there, but we will. We'll know. There. Like no one will see that except for us. We'll know. Actually, somebody might actually, you can kind of see it from a distance. Whatever. All right, so now let's do the top highlight for the skin, which is going to be Youthful Flesh. Okay, so this is just the topmost highlight of the skin. There we go. Okay, nice and easy. All right, so next up, what's that? There's like a big exposed area here. What's going on here? Let me just cover that up for a second. So next up is the blouse, which is going to be, this blouse here is actually going to be white, but it's going to be like a modified teal white because that's how the rest of the team is. And the way I do that is you go a little turquoise ink and a little glaze medium, okay? And we're just going to wash the shirt, and then we're going to come back and highlight it. So this wash is just to get the folds of the shirt and kind of give away the idea that that there's like a kind of a turquoise undertone to her whole her whole get up here, right? So the main thing here is, we're going to get it on the blouse and kind of let it pick up where the folds are the deepest. Or any other bits of her that are going to be this color. So this tabard here, that's probably going to be a green color. So maybe the pants should be that white color. So let's get the pants. Okay. There you go. So this tabard, yeah, this tabard is still going to be green there. This will be, I don't know, brown, maybe black. Brown might be kind of good. Speaking of brown, let's go ahead and actually, before we even do that, let's do some of these potions here. And potions, I usually just go in with the raw ink. So assuming I can find my blue ink, I usually like to do like one of the bottles a bright blue color like that. And then like some of the vials will be blue. Okay. And then back here, So some of these bottles are blue. Some of them are going to be green. It just depends on the different inks I can find. Here's some purple. That'll be good. And should have... I guess I can do some red instead of green. Sure, why not? Let's just do a plethora of colors. Let's do a bunch of different colors. Maybe her sticky bomb potion is like purple. So how long have I been painting for? Good question. Thank you. I've been painting since 1990 or 1991. And I was painting D&D miniatures back in those days. So Ralpartha, Grenadier, some of those super old brands of miniatures. And I don't know. I think me and my friends picked that up on a whim. Like we played a lot of D&D back then, and before it was like hipster. Like a lot of hipsters play D&D now, but before it was hipster, like hipster coffee shop stuff. When you would get your ass kicked if people found out you played D&D. We were playing D&D, and we'd always like to do like artistic representations of our characters. So we used to, like a lot of people draw pictures of their characters, or in some cases they hire someone to draw pictures of their characters. We drew pictures of our own characters, and then somewhere along the lines we realized that like metal miniatures were a thing. They were lead miniatures, and so we picked up some lead miniatures, and we didn't know jack shit. This is before the internet, and so we painted with like the glossy testers paints and all that kind of stuff, and it looked terrible, and we didn't know what we were doing, and everything that we learned about painting was like trial and error. I still need green ink even after all this. You got to have green ink because it's calculus. It's calculus. You got to have green ink. She can't not have poison. But yeah, that's when we started. We found our first Games Workshop catalog, and that's where we first saw the Space Marine and the whole that iconic Space Marine armor. And like I said, when I first saw it, I thought of like, "Hey, what's up, Gotham? Welcome to the feed, man." When I first saw Space Marine, I was like, "Oh, it's like a mix of Darth Vader and Darth Vader and a stormtrooper," but they were called Space Marines. And I thought of when I heard the word Space Marine, I thought of colonial Marines. I thought of the Marines in Aliens. So I was like, "Oh, that's cool. It's like Aliens. Like I can totally get behind that. That's awesome." All right. I need yellow ochre. See, here's another reason why I like painting on YouTube every now and then. It's because there's guys like Gotham who usually only see when I stream on YouTube. I don't really see you when we're over on Twitch. That's not bad. I can use this desert yellow. It's not bad. What about you? How long have you been painting? How long have you guys been painting? When did you guys start painting? And what was your inspiration for painting? Did you paint for D&D? Did you paint for 40K? Found you by accident that you were looking. Well, hopefully it's a good accident. We'll call it a good accident. I don't know when you're on Twitch. See you on IG lots though. Oh, you see my you see my updates on Instagram. I'm on Twitch with the same schedule that I used to be on YouTube. You know, like at least 3 to 4 times a week, usually around this time of night. So, go check it out. Chances are I'm on. Or you could also hop on the Discord and ask, like, hey, are you going to be on? Some people do that because I guess some people were telling me they were having problems getting the right notifications from Twitch and or YouTube. Like they weren't getting notified. So they just ask, like, when are you going to be on? Windows lets me know when you're live on YouTube. That's cool. Yeah. And then this was the decision to do YouTube tonight was really more of a, if I'm going to do one clean model, let's just do a clean model, right? Because we should be able to finish her tonight, believe it or not. I know I'm going a lot slower than I normally am, but this should pick up pretty quick, especially once I start highlighting, which I'm doing right now, right? And this is a color palette I'm very familiar with because of the alchemists I've painted before, so it should also not really be a thing. You're almost done with Black Plague. Nice. Yeah, I've been checking out your sketches on Instagram. Also, Blade Wolf. If you're not following Blade Wolf on Instagram, please do. Like he puts up some cool sketches on there, and and some personal like styling and profiling stuff. Always kind of cool to catch up with him. So I'd recommend that as well. So you see how like her blouse and her pants and stuff are white, but they're not really white. They're just really, really pale. They're really like a pale color here. You started painting because of your first boyfriend. Interesting. That's okay. That's cool. I've actually heard that a couple of times. Oh, Halloween themed farmers are hot too. Definitely. Oh, thanks, man. I had a lot of fun painting those. I'm glad you enjoy them. Yeah, I'm still not sure what color to do her hair. I think the blonde might be kind of rocking. It might be kind of rocking. I might do that. Let's continue on though. I'm a little biased. I'm a little biased towards blonde. I like blonde. I could do blonde and I mean, one option is to do blonde and then put some streaks in it. Listening to Jamie Perkins talk about the inspiration for this model, he brought up Big Hero 6, and there's that character in Big Hero 6 she's a chemist. She's like a tall, kind of wiry, skinny, like nerdy girl, and she has all these different bombs, like different potions and concoctions that she throws in combat. And one of the ones she throws is a sticky bomb, and it just stops everything in its track. And so that was the inspiration behind this model. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So maybe I should paint her like that. So I had no friends in my 10th grade year. Oh, that's so sad. And it started with Amtgard, and someone there showed me Magic and then D&D, and that's how I met my first boyfriend. That's cool. You got formally indoctrinated into the hardcore like geek culture. That's funny. Like, were you into any in-depth sort of hobbying prior to that? Did you paint, draw, build, collect reptiles, hamsters? I went through a phase where I tried to get my significant others to paint with me. And sadly it never really happened. Like it never really came to pass. They were good sports. They would try it. Like they would indulge me, which is cool. But it never really took. It never really. Maybe it might be because I do enough painting for both of like for for a couple. Like you don't need another painter in that couple. Although there are some in the miniatures gaming world. There are some painting power couples. There's definitely a few of them that I can think of where both partners are really into painting, and that's super cool. But usually it's always like the only third thing I did was playing Mario and Final Fantasy VII and Zelda. All good. Yeah, like it's usually like one partner is really into it and the other one just sort of indulges them. So if you get a power couple that they both like to paint. But even the other thing I'll point out is even then, when you have a couple that likes to paint, then one of them likes to game more than paint. And the other one is like, I'm just content to paint. Whatever. It's a shared hobby. It's fine. Let's just be happy that we can share our hobby. I paint, they play. That's how my husband is now. He doesn't get it, but he keeps allowing me to buy this stuff. Yep. So you're like me, you married a normie. The very first conversation I had with my wife, she wanted to know what was the most embarrassing thing about me. Like, what's the most embarrassing thing about you? And I said, well, I play a game called Warhammer 40,000, which is still the most embarrassing thing about me. That's a GW joke for those of you keeping track. Still funny. And so it was the first thing she learned about me. But she didn't like I answered the question that way, but it didn't mean anything, right? She didn't know what that was. She hadn't seen anything until the things got him. Yeah. Uh, she didn't know what that meant until one morning, she wakes up in my apartment and tells me that there are all sorts of little men hiding in my cupboards. Like hiding in uh my hallway closet. And I said, yeah, there's hundreds of them. There's probably thousands of them if you look hard enough. And she wanted to find out a little bit more about what that was, and I sat her down and broke my paints out, and I said, here's what you do. You paint all this stuff, and then you put it on the board, and you play a game with it. And she's like, cool, I want to. Oh yeah, she was totally snooping. Oh, welcome back, Congo. Bummer you can't sleep, dude, but you're more than welcome to come hang out. Um, yeah, she was snooping around my place. She'll tell you, if she was here, she would tell you she was looking for a towel. That's what she tells people. She was looking for a towel. She was looking in my hallway closet thing and found one of my little men staring back at her. Probably, if I was to wager a guess, it would probably be like an Eldar Guardian or something staring back at her. So some weird cone-headed looking alien is looking back at her, and she has to tell me, "Hey, you can learn a lot from looking in someone's hall closet." Although right now, if you looked in my hall closet, you would get totally the wrong impression of me. Um, my hall closet right now is pretty boring. It has, you know, sets of sheets, towels, and then the bottom part has a bunch of board games in it, but they're like shitty normie board games, right? They're like Pictionary and some other stuff. I think I have a copy of Crossmaster Arena. That's about as nerdy as it gets in the hall closet. So if you're like, oh, I knew you were into gaming and you based it on what you saw in my hall closet, like a normie wouldn't look twice at that. They would have to walk in here in this hobby room and go, what the hell just happened to me? They would walk in here, they would see a bunch of like posters of anime looking stuff and Last Dragon autographed Last Dragon photos and that kind of stuff in here. And then they would look at this table here and see a bunch of tiny things painted on the table and go, what the hell is that? Sounds about right. I don't know, maybe brown hair, maybe red hair. Man, that's going to be a decision that's just going to drive me nuts for a little bit. Hold on. While we're trying to figure that out, let's paint all the corks. Teal hair, silver hair. What have you been painting lately? Are you painting anything lately? I know Gotham is painting some Zombicide. Congo paints Warma Horde stuff, and he's painted some Infinity stuff before. If you want to share stuff with me, like if you want to share photos of stuff that you painted, I do have a gallery in my Discord where people post what they've been working on, and that's really cool. There's also, you can also just share it to my Facebook page, and I'll share that as well. Because I always like to see what other, I like to see what other people are working on. And there's some real people have shared some really, really cool stuff with me before. The video froze. That's a bummer. Okay, what I can do here, is I can paint blonde hair, decide whether or not I like it. Oh, it doesn't matter. I mean, my work isn't anything to show off either, but I do it. I don't care. Just I just paint and talk trash. That's how this show works. That's what we do here. I was telling my wife that it's like therapy. This is like cathartic for me to come down here and just talk about something that's bugging me. Tonight, we get called by those by like a pollster or public opinion survey, and they call me and they want my opinion on stuff, and I'm like, are you sure you want my opinion on stuff? And he had me on the phone for like 20 minutes, and I was just my usual kind of snarky self to this poor guy. Because they want to know, are you going to vote for this? Are you going to vote for that? Are you going to, is that a good enough reason? Is that not a good enough reason, right? And I told them, like, your arguments are wrong, and they're not compelling. I may change my mind just because I decide to. But this green here? At one point, I kind of told them, I'm like, look, man, I am made of wood. Your emotional pleas will not work on me. Your moral posturing is not a good argument to me. You're going to have to come up with something better, man. And my wife walked in during that part. She thought that was hilarious. She's like, damn. She felt bad for the poor guy. I'm like, what? I made him laugh. You thought it was funny. Yeah, this is sick green. So I don't know that that's the right color, though. I think it's too it's too yellow. Let's let that dry. If I don't like it, I'm gonna come in with a darker green. I may come in with a darker green just because that doesn't look right to me. It's not in the right shade. I really gotta find my yellow ochre. Where has that color been? It's like been hiding for like the past couple of days. It drives me crazy when you have a whole, you know what I mean? Like you have a whole drawer of paints, and the tones are pretty close, so it can be very hard to find the specific color you want. You ever play that game where you're like, I'm gonna look for a different color and then find the color I was originally looking for? I do need that color, by the way. I'm just gonna start pulling colors that I know I will need at some point. Ooh, that's a good mahogany. That's a nice color. Because I cannot find my yellow ochre. It's crazy. I don't know what to say. Where is it? There's actually the green I wanted. There's that. See, I wasn't even looking for that one. I found that one. But where the hell's my yellow ochre? Yeah. I am going to need that at some point. So I'm finding all these colors that I will eventually need. Guess I'll just use this. Have you checked your hall closet? You expanded your airbrush arsenal? That's nice. That's cool, man. What'd you do? What did you pick up? Did you spend the big money? Did you get the nice one? I picked up. Yeah, it's been a while since I broke out the really, really nice airbrush. I haven't had much opportunity for it. Although I might with the Starship Samurai might cause me to break out the nice airbrush. Yeah, let's try blonde. If I don't like, if I don't, the good news about blonde, if I don't like it, I just switch to, it's not like painting black in first and then realizing you don't want her to have black hair. Badger Renegade Chrome and Extreme Patriot. Wow, that's a lot of airbrushes. Why do you need so many different airbrushes? Oh, you did get the Infinity. Holy crud. Jeez. That's a crazy airbrush arsenal. Use the Renegade Chrome, and I've used the regular Patriot. I've never used the Extreme Patriot. And yeah, I'll freely admit I'm not really a fan of the Badger airbrushes. I know everybody loves them. The one airbrush I was interested in was the Sotar. The Sotar does look like an airbrush that I would be interested in using, but nah. Okay. So let's just let that dry. Yeah, I don't like that green. Just some long hair, yeah. The Infinity looks. I like to say it looks like it looks like Tony Stark's airbrush to me. It looks like it's even the right like color. It looks like Iron Man's airbrush. It's the only way of describing that. Yeah, so this is the airbrush yellow ochre, which doesn't cover nearly as well as the regular yellow ochre. So it's kind of driving me crazy right now. Let's fix this cloak because the cloak is there terrible. It's a great example of fine German engineering. I agree. It's a really it is a really slick brush. I hope you enjoy it. The one thing I would say is if you've never used a 0.15 needle, like be patient with it because you are not going to get it's very unlikely you're going to get the thinning down the first try. You know, and I work with 0.2 needles all the damn time, and I didn't get the thinning down immediately. It took me a few tries. And thin everything. Like there should a 0.15 needle, you shouldn't put anything at consistency through it. Sorry, at package consistency. You only got I recently got a handle, yeah. Yeah. Just be careful. Like don't end up like borking that expensive airbrush trying to force material through it. Okay, so that's a little bit darker. That's good. Getting there. I just want the greens need to be a little more vibrant. So let's let that dry for a minute. In fact, let's go ahead and do the cobblestone, like a flagstone. So this is pretty sloppy work here. We just go through and I'm just going to pick individual stones here. This is cool. This will draw a little more interest to the base. Man, having problems with this brush needs to be, I think, put down. It's really having a hard time keeping its form. I'm pretty rough on these brushes too, so I should take better care of them. Half the cost of the Infinity. Oh, it's not. It's the Evolution. Oh, got it, got it. The Evolution's still a really, really good airbrush, though. I was like, yeah, you got a Renegade Chrome and a Infinity. That's although the Renegade Chrome, I think the Renegade Chrome comes fitted with a 0.2 and a point. think it's a 0.2 and a 0.3. Okay. And then a little darker color here. I know this looks weird. It looks like Fruity Pebbles right now. But this will all blend together. That's the plan anyway, is to blend all this together. Okay. Right. So I know that looks weird. Don't worry. We got a plan. Right? Pretty good. Let's get some beige brown going, if I can find it. Can't find any of my colors, man. That's also not a new thing for this feed. Me not being able to find my colors. It's pretty normal. Pretty normal evening. Ah. Seriously? The frustrating part is these are colors that I just used. Like I just used. Next time we need to towel, we find all the colors in the closet. No, the joke was one time I was looking for brown ink. I was like, "Where's my brown ink? Where's my brown ink?" And I never found it. I spent like half the okay, just a little here and there on the brown. I need a little more. Yeah, I need to highlight the green. The green looks super boring. Actually, it's the way that tabard is sculpted is not good. I'll just blame that. It's just not good. Blame it on the sake. Oh yeah, I may not have been drinking that night. I don't remember. It's been a while since we had one of those streams where we knock back a few. That did get a little expensive for a little bit there, because I was buying really nice sake to drink on air, and it's like, man, that's the good stuff. You feel like it should be red or purple. I think purple would look awesome, but I need her to match the team. So, and the team it's like a green color here. What I do need though, I'm gonna highlight it with a reflective green. I'll highlight it with a reflective green and then shade it back down with a wash, and it should look okay. Dark blue would look awesome. I think purple would look the best for this, but so right now is I'm gonna throw down a rather crude highlight here. Because if you look at the shape of this, it's not very like it's really, really oversimplified shape there. Okay. Right. So you could do that, and then you just edge highlight it. The intermediate green has a little too much gray in it. That's okay. Like I said, we're gonna wash it and make it look okay. Right now, I'm gonna keep highlighting the white up though, the undergarment white, because I want that to be fairly bright. Whoa, sorry. Okay. And then we're also gonna highlight the blonde hair. Actually, before we do that, let's go ahead and wash all the brown and the gold components, okay? And we're going to do that using a mix of sepia ink, black ink, and a little bit of glaze. And it's going to like warm up and unify a bunch of this stuff. It's a very normal part of the procedure. Just not too much black. There we go. Yeah, this brush is just about ready to go bye-bye. It served well. It served well. We did many, many miniatures with it. All right. It's a little too much brown, but it should calm down. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. It's fine. Not the end of the world. Like if it's gonna stay that brown, I'll hit it with, I'll come back in and do a little bit more black in it. But I have a feeling it's still gonna dry a little more gray than it looks right here. Okay, and we're gonna shade all the browns. And we're gonna add a wash to the blonde hair as well. But yeah, the cobblestone always looks weird before you do it, and then when you blend it all in at the end, it's like, oh, okay. You're like, oh, okay, that just worked. I used to say, like, try to calm people down, like, just trust in the process. It'll be fine. Okay, so there's that. Now let's do, yeah, let's just glaze. And then you just, and you can take this off if you don't, like if it's too much. Like for example, you can just take take a really soft brush like this, and then just kind of lightly, you can lightly pull some of it off if it's too powerful. I kind of like this where it's at, but I don't know. If anything, I might add a little more black to it and try another, make it a little bit darker. So it works like it works. It works like a shade. I think it still needs a little. It's gonna need a little bit of a colder gray to it. So I'm actually gonna come in and paint a little bit of cold gray just to help balance it. It's a little too brown right now. And I'm gonna mix that with a little bit darker. There we go. Right? Because I want it to be, there we go. From the ink, a little too strong. So I'm just gonna repair that. There we go. Just kind of bring some gray back to it. Not bad. Okay. So it still looks like dingy cobblestone or flagstone. We'll hit this. And then I got to come back in, hit the laces once this is dry. Whoa. Mess that up a little bit. See, that's the one thing I like about using glaze medium instead of just using a wash, is that wash would have stained. Like when you make a mistake, the wash would stain. The glaze you can move. Okay. And now we're going to do, if I can find it. Maybe I just can't find it. Where'd it go? Here's the green wash I need, and here's the sepia I need. Okay. So let's wash the hair with sepia. It's late. Here, yeah, you have to go to work tomorrow. All right. Well, have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. I mean, you can see how she's coming along. She'll be finished pretty soon here, probably in the next 10 or 15 minutes, actually. You know, just because all we're gonna do is just this. We'll wash, and I'm gonna wash the tabard, and then that's it, man. And paint the lip of the base. Kind of like the dirty blonde look on her a little bit better. It's not bad. If I can get that there. Yeah, still not 100% sold on the hair color, but tomorrow night, that's a good question. Most likely Twitch. Most likely Twitch. Okay, and let's go ahead and wash this. And this is just gonna go there, just to kind of blend the greens together. I don't want it to pool. All right. Good night. Thanks for tuning in again. And yeah, we'll most likely see you tomorrow. Okay. All right. So now, yeah, I'm not 100% lip in. I probably won't even notice it. Let's go ahead and do that and then decide if it needs to be redone. I'm leaning towards no, it's probably just fine, but where the hell is that foul green? Dude, that's a color I had on the table. And it's gone. What the crap? Here we go. Man. So now I got to decide tomorrow, am I going to paint another one of these or am I going to go back to, oh God, that didn't work. Hold on. Should I paint another one of these or should I go back to Starship Samurai? That is the question. Paint another. So I should paint Chisel, right? It's either going to be Chisel or Vet Cinder in terms of my needs. To paint Chisel. Alrighty, dude. I'm gonna agree with you because it's definitely not against what I would want to paint. Chisel should be a lot of fun to paint. Yeah. I mean that's basically her. Let's do I do want to do a little bit of highlighting on that purple jar though. Ah! It's too much purple. That's not purple. Where's that awesome like light blue purple thing that I have? I have all these great colors, none of which I can seem to find tonight. Like that's the one color that I keep specifically to highlight purple. There it is, I found it. Yeah, it's Man, I ended up using a lot of colors on this model. This model is definitely, uh, because of the bottles and stuff, she's more, she's busier than a lot of the other models are. Here we go. Just gonna give that a little bit of a highlight there. Okay. I feel like her hair might also have a highlight, like a purple highlight in it. That might be kind of sick. Let's highlight the hair with a super light blonde and then decide, like, should it have a little purple streak in it or not? For some reason in my mind the sticky bomb is purple. Add a little more interest to the model. It's a real pale highlight there. It'd be a little too much of a highlight there. And that's a wild, I guess it's not that wild. It's just not much of a transition point. It's just really blonde right there. Let me fade it out a little bit. Is it too boring? Honestly, is that too boring? Does it need that? Does it need the purple streak in there? It looks good? Okay, thanks. Let's do the lacing on the boots. Oh man. It's one problem with these laces is sometimes you're just trying to lightly get them and your paint's just a little thinner than it should have been for that, and it see that it just puddled up right there. And you gotta clean that up. There you go. There we go. It's better. Still not sure why this is so shiny. Like, what do I need to do to make that less shiny? I think that's cool. Let's see if I can get the color to flatten out a little bit. It's just too shiny, the damn tabard. Okay. She does actually do a good job of matching the rest of the team, though, now. She's fun. I had fun. She's fun paint. So, anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this up. I got to get up early tomorrow. But yeah, I like her. Fun. That was way more colors than that should have been. Overall, though, pretty happy with that. That should be fun. Put it on the table, score a bunch of goals with it, piss people off, the usual. So with that, I think we're going to call the feed here. I want to thank everyone for watching. Have a good night, guys. And we will be on Twitch tomorrow night. And yeah, according to Blade Wolf, I'm paint and chisel. So have a good night, everybody.